means the US Secretary of State Antony Blinken is in Israel and has managed to convince Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to agree on meeting as soon as they can. But as Matthew Doran reports from Jerusalem, getting Hamas on board will likely prove more difficult.
The face-to-face lobbying is underway here in Israel, with the US Secretary of State Antony Blinken coming to the country for his 9th visit, trying to convince the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to agree to a proposal which has been drafted by the US government itself. And he has been successful to a point. We have heard this evening that Secretary Blinken is saying Prime Minister Netanyahu is prepared to back the terms of what's being described as a bridging proposal, a deal aimed at bringing Israel and Hamas closer to an agreement aimed at halting hostilities in Gaza. Hamas, however, has been critical of how these negotiations have progressed, the group saying the US has simply kowtowed to the demands of Israel in drafting this ceasefire deal, that it's only taking into consideration one side of this conflict. And even though Antony Blinken is now publicly pressuring Hamas to back the deal, there may well be serious issues which are still under wraps, which will remain sticking points, including Israeli control of the border between Egypt and the Gaza Strip. And while that deal is outstanding, of course, the threat of airstrikes on Israel from Iran and Iranian-backed Hezbollah remains. Now, while these negotiations continue, the humanitarian crisis in Gaza continues to worsen. We have heard that there have been more than 40,000 cases of hepatitis A reported to the United Nations. And we have also learned in the last couple of days that polio has been confirmed in the war-ravaged region. Infectious diseases are ripping through the community there, and it's baffling some doctors. In the last couple of days, the ABC has been given access to a UN-run health clinic in central Gaza. And to describe the scenes as confronting doesn't really do it justice. Families lining up, children in tow, seeking help from doctors, their bodies covered in scabs and sores. This is going to be a real crisis, and something which needs to be addressed immediately and urgently, regardless of if and when a ceasefire deal is agreed to.